Boyce Watkins from Your Black World and the Black Business School. And I want to say welcome to everybody who's watching from drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people, as well as the Black Financial Channel, which is where we keep things Black and financial all day long, every day. Do me a favor as you come into the conversation. Good morning. Good morning. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button, and all that good stuff so that we can have a quick, robust conversation. I won't take a lot of your time, but I wanted to address something real quick that I thought would be worth sort of talking about a little bit. It has to do with Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump, our president of the United States, who, in my opinion, Johnny, is committing a financial crime, among others. Right? There are a lot of financial crimes that you can accuse Trump of. But there's one financial crime that nobody's really talking about. For some reason, the mainstream media isn't picking up on this, and this is really, really fascinating to me. And it has to do with deliberate manipulation of the stock market. I really think that there should be more discussion and more analysis on whether or not Trump is, tweeting all these things that he's tweeting on a daily basis. In order to make the stock market move up and down, up and down, up and down. And anybody who knows anything about investing, they know that you can make money when the market goes up. You can make money when the market goes down, right? And so I'd be curious to know, what Trump's holdings are, what the holdings of his friends are, to really understand what might be going on here. Now, somebody says, I need that shirt. Actually, if you want to buy shirts like this, we actually have a site, wokeblacktees.com. That's woke, W-O-K-E, wokeblacktees.com. So if you go to wokeblacktees.com, you can actually get one of these shirts. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe. Also, shout out your city. Shout out your city so I know what city you're coming in from. Let's see, Tim from Detroit. I see Reggie. He says, good morning. Good morning, Kevin Estes. Miriam, good morning to you. Timothy, good morning to you. Let's see, Appleman. This is why I don't deal with the stock market. Appleman, I'm gonna actually push back on that a little bit. I hear a lot of people say that, and if you guys have participated in my stock market investing masterclass or any of the other things that we've done in the Black Business School, I kind of break all that down and explain why, even though you know that things are being manipulated, that does not mean that you should stay away. You're missing a lot of money and a lot of financial opportunity when you stay away. So, for example, there are a lot of people who say, "Oh, the stock market it's going to crash. It's going to crash. That's why I don't mess with the stock market." Well, the problem is that there's never been a time when the market has crashed and never recovered, and people have been saying that since 1905, even before 1905, right? And while those people were saying that, you have some guy that's born in the year 1900, and every year he's like, stock market's going to crash. Don't invest in the stock market. The whole time, other people are making money. The whole time, people are building massive fortunes in investing. I have students that have built up thousands of dollars in family wealth, some of them over $1 million, just in the years I've been talking about the stock market. So I'm just telling you, man, I really think you're making a big mistake if you miss out on the market. It's almost like there's a money tree over there, and you're not picking dollar bills off that money tree, but then again, maybe you got something else going on that's making you money. Maybe you're in real estate or entrepreneurship or something like that. Those are the three key ways that people make money in America. A job is the worst way to make money because you're trading years of your life in exchange for income, and they're taking away your freedom, and sometimes they steal your happiness. So I suggest you find other ways to make money. In fact, tomorrow I'm gonna go out and actually buy some more rental property. And if you want to know the simple game, basically, me and Dr. Alicia, the woman I'm going to marry, we're going to go buy a property. There's a tenant in the property. The amount that the tenant pays in rent is going to pay the mortgage. So after a few years, they'll pay off the property for us, and they will own it. And the property value will go up because it's Chicago. So that's just what happens in Chicago. Everything, it costs more now than it did 10, 20 years ago. And then you rinse and repeat. And that's how people like Donald Trump get their wealth. But anyway, let me keep going. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe button. Please do that. That's very important for us. And don't forget the All Black National Conventions the weekend of September 27th. So if you want to be around other Black people you can build with and just vibe with and be Black with, come to allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. All right. So here's I was looking for articles where people would actually talk about Trump manipulating the stock market. And there's an article written on Mediaite by a guy named John Ziegler. And Ziegler wrote the things I'd been thinking, but just didn't see the media, mainstream media, talking about this. But he basically says President Trump's career as a businessman has been a 40-year testament to several realities. Over the top, among them, his over the top avarice, his ability to con the media into thinking he's far wealthier than he really is, and illustrating just how difficult it really is to make lots of money without ever having to come up with a great idea. Just ask the graduates of his now defunct and always fraudulent Trump University. I don't like the bias in the article. I kind of feel that if you really want to analyze this objectively, you have to be able to, if you can't tell me one good thing about the person that you're talking about, that tells me you're not objective. If you can't name one good thing, you have to give, if you can't give Trump credit for figuring out things other people have not figured out. I mean, a lot of people want to be president, but can't do it. A lot of people want to fly a private jet for 40 years, but can't do it. A lot of people want to live Trump's life and have golf courses and resorts all over the world, but can't do it, right? So it doesn't mean Trump is ethical. I don't think he's ethical. I think the guy is. I think it's a problem having somebody like that in the White House because he's too complex. He's too entangled. But I don't think he's a villain just because he has money, right? The Obamas are making about $100 million a year, and just so you know, as an advocate for the Black community, I don't see any of that $100 million a year being poured into infrastructural transformations of the Black communities, particularly Southside Chicago. Like, I think that if the Obamas partnered with people like myself or Louis Farrakhan or others and said, we want to create 50,000 quality jobs for young Black people in Chicago, they could do that. We could all pull together and make that happen. But the fact that they haven't tried to do that and that's not even on their radar screen really speaks to the issues, the fundamental issues in terms of how we allow celebrities to not care about their community, right? But with Trump, I think there's a difference in terms of how he makes his money versus, say, the Obamas. With the Obamas, with all the politicians, there's always shady stuff going on. There's always something where, like there's a million stories I could tell you about every politician and in terms of things that happen on their way to the top. But with Trump, it's an extra seedy. He was in a seedy industry. He's in, casinos and boxing and, mob affiliated stuff, Russian gangster, affiliated, like he was in some dirty stuff, and so I think that Trump can be criticized for that. And I think that does, undermine the legitimacy of his presidency from an ethical standpoint. But when you're sort of starting off by saying that he's a complete fraud and everything that he's ever talked about, everything he's ever done has been terrible and horrible and bad and worthless and blah, 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 I think that you're showing you're playing your card at that point, right? You're showing me that no matter what this man says or does, you're always going to see it in a negative light. And I'm just going to tell you the honest God truth. My perception is everything he does ain't stupid. Everything he does ain't always bad. But, should he be president? I don't think he should be president. But anyway, let's keep going. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. It says, now as president of the United States, Trump suddenly possesses the ability, this is key, this is important, suddenly possesses the ability to cause investors to make or lose millions, if not billions of dollars in just a few hours. All he has to do is tweet something particularly positive or negative about his economic policy, especially if it's about tariffs, which the market almost universally hates. So the fact that he has, I'm reading this, the fact that he has the prodigious power to move the stock market is not in question and has been on full display during the recent period of extreme market volatility. Bloomberg News keeps a running tally of Trump's economic tweets and their impact on the stock market, and the Wall Street Journal recently documented this phenomenon in the same manner. And yet, very strangely, there's been almost no mainstream media analysis of whether Trump could be manipulating the market deliberately or with ill intent. Now, here's the thing. There are people in the Trump administration who have actually said that Trump has manipulated the market deliberately. There's evidence. A couple of things that happened. One was Carl Icahn, a friend of Trump's and a former advisor. Right now, he's being investigated because he sold $30 million in steel stock right before Trump first announced his plans to raise tariffs on China. So it's not inconceivable that Trump picked up the phone and engaged in insider trading. That he picked up the phone, called his boy, said, hey, man, look, don't dump your stock. I'm about to announce these tariffs. This is going to be bad for you. You want to get out, right? And so Carl Icahn said, thank you. You saved me $10 million, and I owe you one, right? These guys have been working together to make money for many, many years. They have manipulated markets in the past. They've raided corporations together. They've done all kinds of, this goes back to the 80s, right? So these are people that if you want to feed into sinister conspiracy theories about massive market manipulation by the America's elite, those theories are correct. That does happen. I don't think it's a reason to stay out of the stock market. What I do actually, honestly, is a lot of times I'll invest in a way that just simply tracks what the rich people are doing. Like I just, one simple theory. And again, I don't even need to have a PhD in finance to tell you this. I can tell you other things, but this is not something I need my PhD to tell you, is that one good way to be rich in America is to invest as the rich people do. Follow what they do, pay attention, watch how they move, right? So, so speaking of that, one area where Trump has deliberately manipulated the market in a more legal way is there were a lot of people that felt that he was engaged in pump and dump schemes back in the 80s. Trump's name has always been powerful. It's always been a force. It's always been significant. So when Trump would go buy shares of a company, say he acquired 3% of a company or 5%, everybody would start paying attention and start buying that stock because Trump was buying it. And Trump knew this. He knew that his name being involved, where he branded his name, he's branded his name for 40 years. So he knew that investing in a company was going, and having his name affiliated with those investments was going to push the prices up. So people would start buying because they're just, like, oh, Trump's going to raid this company, so I want to be in on the deal. And then when the price would get up high, Trump would say, I changed my mind. I decided I don't want to buy the company now, right? And then so he's selling all these shares at an inflated price, which some would consider to be a pump and dump scheme. And so, do I put it past Trump to do this? Absolutely not. I mean, this man is, whatever you suspect of him, as far as him being, a little bit of a sleazeball and everything else, he's right there at the top of the list. And so I think that this is a financial crime that he should be investigated for. Multiple Trump aides actually admitted that, I'm reading from the article here, admitted that the president lied about the status of talks with China on tariffs with the purpose of artificially boosting the stock market. So we have a president with a history of highly suspicious activity in this realm who has proven that he is totally unrestricted by ethical standards or a hesitancy to be deceitful, and who could pull off a market manipulation scheme with almost no effort and with inherent plausible deniability, especially since tariffs would theoretically be the perfectly designed weapon of market manipulation. In short, expecting Trump to avoid the extraordinary temptation of abusing this kind of power would be like leaving an obese child alone in a candy store for an extended period of time and somehow believing they won't break their diet. And I agree 100%. I think this article is right on point. To be clear, even I don't think Trump will be dumb enough to manipulate the market for his own personal enrichment. I agree. I don't think he would he's smart enough to know how to cut the ties and cut the receipts to make sure you can't prove that he personally benefited. But, the reality is that, he's got friends that he talks to, and he's got other ways that he can benefit perhaps long term. So I will just say this at the end of the day. Do I think the market manipulation is deliberate? You're absolutely damn right. I think it also feeds into his ego. I think Trump has an extremely supersized ego. I think he's a narcissist. So there's a personality disorder there. But then again, what's interesting is that they say that a lot of the people that become presidents and high-ranking politicians have a personality disorder. Bill Clinton and Barack Obama might be accused of being sociopaths, right? Meaning that, a sociopath kind of just gets what they want and they don't care how it hurts other people, right? And I've heard people that I know in Chicago say that about Barack. They say, Barack is not a bad guy. He's very, very smart, but Barack is all about Barack. Barack will lie to your face, will tell you something one day and totally violate it the next and not even feel guilty about it or whatever. And, so you got people running around Chicago saying, I want to cuss that son of a bitch out when I see him again. And Bill Clinton, his history as well. So my point is not to tell you which political side you should be on. In fact, I think that that's almost irrelevant to what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is you're trying to build wealth for your family, and politicians aren't going to do that for you. But I think that in terms of understanding the market, do I think that there's manipulation happening? Absolutely right. Do I think that means you should walk away from the stock market? No, I don't. The Trump stock market has done fine. The Obama stock market, I think, was a little bit better. And so either way, no matter who was in the White House, there was opportunity to make money in the stock market. So if you missed out on the stock market all throughout the Obama presidency, you've lost a lot of money that your family would have made easily. If you'd taken, say, a basic class I was teaching many years ago, you literally have an extra $50,000, $100,000 in the bank, a lot of you, right? Maybe more. So anyway, Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button. Also, feel free to check out theblackbusinessschool.com, theblackbusinessschool.com. That's where we educate you guys on all different aspects of business, finance, everything else. We have enrollment specialists that are waiting to talk to you about your personal financial plan, what you'd like to accomplish in your economic life. Theblackbusinessschool.com. You can actually get started for free. Also, if you haven't learned to buy your first share of stock, thank you, DDS, for sharing that. Go to blackmoney100.com. There's a free training. If you sign up at blackmoney100.com, you can get a free training on how to buy your first share of stock. Last but not least, some of you have asked about the events that we're doing in the near future. I'll be speaking in Louisville at the Diverse Entrepreneurship Summit on the 14th, and then the All Black National Convention on September 27th. That's going to be massive. And then last but not least is a big investment summit that we're hosting in New York City on October 27th. So if you'd like to see these events and learn more, go to drboyceseminars.com. That's drboyceseminars.com. Vincent says, technically, you can't lose what you never had. I don't agree with that. That's actually, there's a term for that in economics. It's called opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is when you lose something that you never had because you never went to go get it, right? So if there's $1 million waiting for you in the other room and you don't go get it, and you say, I never had it, so I can't lose it. Well, actually, there's an economic theory that says actually you did lose it. Whenever you don't take advantage of opportunities, you are losing money. And the mindset of a wealth builder is that, like, that's why they don't waste time. Like, for example, most entrepreneurs that are successful, they see time as money. They see time as opportunities to make money. So if you are with an entrepreneur who's really on his stuff, he's not going to waste his time with you because he's thinking, I don't want to lose. Every time I'm sitting here talking to you, I'm losing money. So don't think of it as, oh, I didn't have it, so I never lost it, because that's kind of a poverty mentality. That's like saying, being broke is good enough for me. You deserve better than that. I encourage you to go for it. And I don't even think Vincent was serious. I think Vincent was making a joke, but this is me just speaking to you brother to brother, just saying, man, there's a lot of opportunity out here for you and your family. And as a man, you have a responsibility to ensure that your children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren have a better life because you were here. It does not take much effort. We have the $5 a day investing plan that we've actually been teaching heavily in the Black Business School. Just doing something like that, where you're literally investing the same amount of money that people spend on Popeye's chicken, can make your children and grandchildren millionaires. I show you mathematically how this all plays out in the investment seminars and everything else that I do. It's not that difficult to do. Just take my word for it. If you trust me, please trust me on this. This is something that really is critical. This is how we can get our own reparations. So anyway, I got to go, guys. I got a meeting, but I hope you guys have a great day. I love you guys. Hit the thumbs up button, share, and subscribe at theblackfinancialchannel.com. I'll be coming into the blackfinancialchannel.com several times a day, all day, giving you updates on the market, things like that. The jobs report came out. A lot of things are happening right now. So as these things happen, I'm going to share this my analysis and commentary with you. But until then, make sure you at least know how to buy your first share of stock by signing up at blackmoney100.com, so that when you come back, you can tell me how your portfolio is doing. We're all investors up in this mug. This ain't about sitting around listening to voices. It's about listening to your own instincts and building something for your family, because I want you to be a king. I want you to be a queen. I want you to succeed. So take care, guys. I'll see you soon. Have a good day. Peace.